Li Wenhao became a global wanted criminal because of an egg fried rice. Because killing a flea, the system is added. Because I don't want to die, I pretend to be the son of the Marquis. Because I want to live freely, create the strongest legion, tear apart the heavens. Reader QQ Group 7823179993 Keywords of the novel. The strongest legion system in the world without pop-ups. Download the complete TXT collection of the strongest legion system in the world, and read the latest chapters of the strongest legion system in the world. Chapter 1. First Arrival. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. First Arrival. The sky and earth are vast, and war is rising everywhere. In March of the 321st year of the Dao dynasty, the ruler of Langya Kingdom in the western regions killed the Dao envoy, which angered Emperor Youwu. In the spring of April of the same year, Li Longji, the Marquis of Qingyang, ordered his eldest son Li Wenhao and his seventh illegitimate son Li Wenhao to lead a 30,000-strong army to the west. A few days later, in the Hanwa mountains, a group of mountain bandits attacked a small team of officers and soldiers, fighting fiercely. Leader, wake up quickly. We're trapped on the mountain. Woo, you shouldn't believe the nonsense of the three-headed eagle. What ordinary sentinels? They are so powerful, brothers are all dead. Two bandits dug out Wang Lu with a big beard from under a pile of corpses, calling out while shaking his body. For a long time, Wang Lu, who looked dazed, opened his eyes and saw two crying black-faced men in front of him. With a face full of flesh, a scruffy beard, and bloodstains on his body, one of whom is still one-eyed. It's a pity not to play the role of a bandit in this outfit. Looking at the two strangers in front of him, Wang Lu appeared very confused and strange. He remembered that he used to resell weapons in the Middle East. He killed a small group of special soldiers from ML countries because of a piece of fried rice with eggs, and was wanted all over the world. Later, he was killed by a drone. Why did he come here? Not good, they have a bloody smell on their bodies and knives in their hands. Wang Li's mind suddenly became much clearer, and at the same time, a large amount of unfamiliar memories surged in. I have been reborn and become the 72 villages in the Handuan Mountains. The leader of the same name and surname, Jigong Mountain, is Wang Beard. Following the order of the three-headed eagle, the general leader ambushed a small group of Dao army sentinels. Is this during the Chongzhen period of the Ming dynasty? No, this is not the earth. Although it is similar to the Chongzhen period of the Ming dynasty, it has spiritual power and is a world for cultivation. There is no Ming dynasty, some are the Yu dynasty. There is no Emperor Chongzhen, some are Emperor Youwu. The same aristocratic family, the people are struggling, the same beacon fires are raging, and the world is in chaos. What's different is that during the Ming dynasty, the most scarce item was silver, while here, the most scarce item was elixirs. Whoever controls the pill controls the cultivator and the world's strong soldiers. At the end of my memory, there was a small path in the mountains, with swords flying horizontally. A large mountain bandit shouted, "Ow," holding up a huge stone weighing hundreds of pounds. 7 or 8 meters away, a great ghost soldier wearing a crow mask waved his long spear and shot a red light, cutting the mountain bandit who was lifting the boulder in half along with the boulder. Then, a mischievous bearded man, who looked a bit familiar, stabbed the crow-masked man from behind and was shot away with a backhand. Grandpa's, it can't be a dream, can it? Pa, Wang Lu slapped himself with disbelief, not to mention the pain, as he picked up his furry beard. Ding, congratulations to the host for killing one double-eyelid flea and obtaining the strongest legion system in the world. The system's main page will automatically open. The strongest legion system in the world. Commander-in-Chief. Wang Lu. Equal level. First level body refining realm military qualification. 5, full value of 10, intellectual qualification. 5, full value of 10, commander. 1, each point of commander's worth can lead 100 strong army, and for every 100 units of enemies killed, it can increase commander's worth by a little. Legion page. Not enabled, minimum requirement for establishing a legion, loyalty value of 50 or above, 1/3 level general, and 100 soldiers. Ding, this system focuses on building the strongest legion and comprehensively enhancing the legion's combat effectiveness. Please establish a legion as soon as possible and conquer countless worlds. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the first kill and receiving the beginner's gift package. Do you want to claim it? This is also okay. Wan Li's body swayed for a moment. It wasn't that he was weak, but rather that the system was too sudden, causing him to almost blink. Originally, Wan Lu was already surprised by the rebirth of a different world, but now he inexplicably kills a flea and obtains a system, which makes him even more puzzled. Although it's a flea with double eyelids, is this system too casual? I am not a casual person. Intelligence level 5, military level 5, how could this be possible? Am I the legendary scumbag 5? Also, establish a legion as soon as possible, not to mention the 3rd level generals. Do you think I can recruit 100 soldiers? Although Wan Lu didn't admit it in his heart, Big Black Hand honestly clicked to claim it. Ding, the newbie gift pack has been successfully claimed. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the divine level skill Overlord Heavenly Lift. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the 3rd consecutive upgrade to the 4th level of the Enlightenment Realm General. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the divine beast mount, the Night Wolf Lion Beast. Wan Lu couldn't help but let out a moan, his mind icy cold. Countless moves and techniques flooded in, just like eating chilled watermelon in the summer, it was so refreshing. At the same time, a whirlwind formed at the Dantian area, transforming into a heat flow that circulated throughout the body. The areas it passed through were warm, with all meridians open and acupoints fully open. There are some stains on the surface of the body, and apart from the unpleasant smell, most of the original injuries on the body have healed. It's helpless, this system is a bit awesome. Wan Lu waved his fist and felt the powerful heavenly lifting technique in his mind, as well as the surging power inside his body, secretly giving the system a thumbs up. It's different, it's really different. I feel like I've been completely transformed. I used to be able to kill a cow with just one punch, but now I can kill a group of cows. Ding, the system prompts that due to the host absorbing the residual soul of Wan Beard, there are 3 additional qualifications in the body. Please choose to add points as soon as possible to avoid dissipation. This product is too delicious, with only 3 qualifications. I don't know what it will be after filling it up at 10 o'clock. Wan Lu took a deep breath and didn't think much anymore. As a violent person, besides using force, does it require intelligence? No need. As for the commanding value, it's obvious that killing someone is more cost-effective. Besides, there have never been more than 100 mountain bandits under his command, and the reason is that they die quickly. After obtaining the 3-point full force qualification, a burst of heat flowed through the body, refreshing the system panel. The strongest legion system in the world. Commander-in-Chief. Wan Lu. Equal level. 4th level Enlightenment Realm military qualification. 8, full value of 10, intellectual qualification. 5, full value of 10, leader, the reinforcements from the Dio army are about to climb the mountain. What should we do? How about pretending to be dead? The 2 bandits were extremely anxious and ignored Wang Li's abnormality. They began dragging the body on the ground, trying to cover it and pretend to be dead. What are you panicking about? I'm here. Wan Lu stood straight with his stomach out, took a deep breath, and the surging force in his body filled him with confidence. According to the memory in my mind, the elixirs in this world are extremely expensive, and only a small number of elites can afford to cultivate them, so there are not many experts. At the lowest level, one can become a 10-man commander in the army. The 2nd level spiritual realm can be a centurion. The third-level Meridian Realm can lead to 1,000 captains. He is a fourth-level Enlightenment Realm, a leader in the army, and also a master among cultivators. Ordinary soldiers cannot stop him, and he is afraid of being caught. Wang Lo walked forward with a disdainful expression on his face, poked his head out and looked down the mountain. It didn't matter at first glance, he was dumbfounded. At the foot of the mountain, there were densely packed with human heads, and there were 2,000 to 3,000 soldiers wearing black armor, holding black three-legged golden and black flags, and the Fire Crow army. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Li Wenhao, Seeking Collection, Seeking Tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Li Wenhao, Seeking Collection, Seeking Tickets. So many people, didn't they just kill a few sentries? Wang Lu said angrily. It's not that he's timid, it's just too much. The cultivator is a bully, but there is also a limit to the spiritual power in their body, as ants often bite and kill elephants. A few hundred people can still make a run, and even 2,000 or 3,000 can exhaust you. Previously, the captain of the masked Dio sentry had a guy with strength close to the third-level Meridian Realm who was still surrounded and killed by them. Of course, the cost paid was not small. 3 leaders, over 100 people, only a few died. Leader, come and take a look, this great Yubing looks very similar to you. The one-eyed dragon mountain thief suddenly shouted, as the cargo was rummaging through the body and preparing to pretend to be dead. He seemed to have discovered something. Nonsense, I look like a jade tree facing the wind. Who can look like me? Wang Lu turned around and cursed angrily. He reached into his arms and took out a small coarse cloth bag. After pouring for a while, he poured out 3 small pills. Black, the size of a peanut, with some brown impurities on it. Pinch one with 2 fingers and throw it into your mouth, it's a bit bitter. As the black pill entered the stomach, the lower abdomen was warm and comfortable in the dantian area. This thing is called Qi and Blood Pill, made from spiritual herbs, and is the lowest level cultivation pill. But it's also terrifyingly expensive, with only 1 or 2 gold coins and 100 households receiving a month's worth of military pay. Qi and Blood Pill can not only cultivate, but also supplement spiritual power and treat internal injuries. Wang Li's injury was not mild, although it had mostly healed, there was still a slight pain in his chest. Really like you, just like you when you didn't grow a beard. Another mountain bandit also shouted. Do you really look like me? Wang Lu was curious and put the remaining 2 Qi and Blood pills into a coarse cloth bag, carefully placing them before turning his head and walking over. There is no good way to deal with the Dio soldiers at the foot of the mountain, it's just a fight. Fear of death is not his style. Otherwise, he will not become a global wanted person because of an egg fried rice. Just took 2 steps, suddenly stumbled and almost fell. Wang Lu instinctively lowered his head to look, his eyes shining with ferocity. I saw a mountain bandit covered in blood, tightly holding onto his calf. The injuries of the mountain bandits are very serious, and their intestines are flowing out. Such injuries cannot be saved in this era. Wang Beard, give me a Qi and Blood pill. I am the leader of the village, please save me. Despite the twisted face of the mountain bandit in pain, there was still a threat in his eyes. Save you bastard, I'm in a difficult situation to protect myself now. What the hell do you care about, General Leader? Wang Lu muttered in a low voice, exerting force on his toes. With a loud bang, it shattered the heart of the mountain bandit. For him, this was just a minor incident and he didn't take it seriously, but he didn't expect the system to sound. Ding, kill 1 bandit and obtain 10 Qi and Blood pills, 100 marching pills, and 1 big white rabbit milk candy. At the same time, a virtual system repository appeared in front of me. Wang Lu reached out and grabbed a small black pill, the size of a peanut, shining with a faint halo. It's really a Qi and Blood pill, 10 whole pills. 1 pill a month is enough to eat for half a year, and even the most luxurious one can be eaten for 10 days. I didn't dream about it, did I? Wang Lejing was stunned. These were 10 qi and blood pills, and their quality was much better than what he had eaten. It was possible to get 2 taels of gold or even 1 in the market. This system is also too strong. As long as one kills, there is a continuous supply of elixirs, even a pig can become an unparalleled expert. I can understand why it's called the strongest legion system in the world. With pills, what kind of legion cannot be cultivated? Wang Lina muttered to himself, his eyes bright and terrifying. Seems to see a legion entirely composed of cultivators, an invincible legion. Just thinking about it makes people shiver. No, I need to complete the conditions for forming the army as soon as possible and establish my own invincible army. Wang Lu took a deep breath to calm himself down. Flipping his hand, he took out several brown pills and a beautifully packaged white rabbit milk candy. This brown marching pill is also a good thing. Eating one pill won't make you hungry for a day. It costs 1 or 2 silver each, and only the imperial army can provide it in the Dao dynasty. Unfortunately, with the qi and blood pill at the forefront, the equally valuable marching pill becomes less prominent. As for the beautifully packaged big white rabbit milk candy, it's just a decoration. System, besides marching pills and qi and blood pills, can other pills be exploded? It's best to use a level-breaking pill to break through bottlenecks with explosive points, Wang Lu asked in his heart. Ding, all resources that can enhance the legion's strength can be exploded. Please explore on your own. Thank you. Wang Lu said seriously, this time with sincerity. Previously, the system required the formation of a legion, but there were no resources and no manpower. He is a poor mountain bandit, just a joke. So I didn't take it to heart. But now it's different. With the supply of elixirs, are you still afraid of no one? Don't have too many people who want to practice, why don't you grab a bunch of people? Wang Lu collected the marching pill, casually opened the big white rabbit milk candy, threw it into his mouth, and strode forward. Fragrant and sweet, not bad, it's a familiar taste. Leader, look quickly. I found a jade plaque with words on it. The one-eyed thief crouched in front of a corpse of a great Yubing and handed over a light green jade plaque. Li Wenhao, the 7th son of Qingyang Marquis' mansion. Wang Lu took the jade plaque and picked it up, smooth and warm. In the middle was a row of ancient characters similar to Qin Xiaozhuan, with exquisite cloud patterns carved around it. He was slightly stunned for a moment, realizing that the former Wang Beard could read, otherwise he wouldn't have known him. After searching for the overlooked information in my mind, I realized that Wang, who was still a descendant of a noble family, another piece of dog blood. Now is not the time to think about these things. Wang Lu took a step forward and carefully examined the appearance of the body. It was not very old and looked like Wang Beard in his early 20s. His skin was slightly black, his facial features were tough, and he really looked very similar to him. There was also a copper 3-legged crow mask broken in half next to the body. Leader, there is also a token and a money bag. The Cyclops found a black copper token and a yellow silk money bag from the corpse. There are a pair of plump ducks embroidered on the money bag, which are soft and silky in the hand. No matter how they look, they all belong to the girl's family. In addition to some silver, there is also a small porcelain vase in the wallet. Wang Lu opened the porcelain bottle, his eyes fixed, and he immediately closed the bottle and put it in his pocket along with the money bag, which was actually placed in the system warehouse. In such an instant, a strong medicinal fragrance overflowed, and the fragrance cleared my heart. Breaking level pill, a necessary pill to break through bottlenecks, requires several to dozens of pills depending on the level of qualification and rank. Wang Lu remained calm on the surface, but his heart had already stirred up 1,000 waves. Unexpectedly, just as I mentioned the level-breaking pill, there were 10 of them. This thing is 100 taels of gold, not only expensive, but also in small quantities. It has no power and cannot be bought with money. Boss, this fragrance is so fragrant. What is it? Isn't it a pill? The two bandits sniffed their noses hard, their faces full of curiosity. What kind of pill? It's just a woman's spice. Wang Lu remained calm and waved his hand. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Little Fat Dwen, Seeking Collection, Seeking Tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Little Fat Dwen, Seeking Collection, Seeking Tickets. Hee, the one-eyed mountain thief chuckled foolishly, but there was no hint of trust in his eyes. Looking at the copper token again, this is the standard token of the Daio army. It is only available for those with a rank of 10 or above. It not only includes positions, but also cultivation levels. The commander of the Fire Crow army, Wenhao, is a quasi-third rank tooth general. Wang Lu nodded slightly and put away the jade plaque and token. This kid is the masked man. He had previously thought it strange that a sentry captain was so powerful, but now he fully understood that this kid was undercover and came to investigate the military situation in person. This also explains why there are so many Dayu armies at the foot of the mountain. It's impossible for a few sentinels, but for the son of a marquis, a commander is definitely worth it. Take off this guy's armor, put it on for me, and bring his weapons, too, Wang Leleng said. Leader, do you want to dress up as the captain of the Daio soldier? The two bandits didn't recognize the words on the token and thought it was an ordinary sentry commander. Don't talk nonsense, hurry up. Wang Lu impatiently urged and stomped on the head of the corpse on the ground. After finishing, find a dagger and start shaving. Without shaving cream, just replace it with blood from the corpse, not to mention, it's quite useful. Hurry up, dress up the leader quickly. It's definitely not a problem to look like this. Let's also change it and follow along. The two mountain bandits were not very foolish either. They quickly understood Wang Li's meaning and had a hope of escape. They were much more agile in their hands and feet. Wearing armor for Wang Lu and finding the long spear that Wenhao had previously used, he hurriedly began to change his clothes. Wang Lu put on his armor and tried it on. Although there were many holes and bloodstains, it fit well overall. He picked up the long spear and sank, weighing 100 pounds. Ding, discover the 4th level Xuanbing's 3-pointed golden crow spear, which increases the combat power by 10%. Good weapon. Wang Lu exclaimed loudly, stroking the spear with both hands, unable to put it down. He knew in his heart that weapons were the second life for generals and would not easily leave him. So Wenhao disguised himself and changed everything, but he didn't change his xianbing. Woo-woo, the black spear shook and emitted a sky full of black light, like a python devouring people. The long spear is really long, more than 3 meters long. The spear has 3 tips, and in addition to the main tip, there are also crescent-shaped tips on both sides. Wang Li's eyes turned cold, and his long spear fluttered several gunflowers, thrusting towards him. Poo-poo, the two mountain bandits, who were changing their armor, didn't dodge quickly and didn't even let out a scream. They were instantly torn in half by the xianbing. Ding, kill 2 mountain bandits and obtain 20 qi and blood pills, 200 marching pills, and a can of fat water. When you arrive at the Yanwang Palace, don't forget to give me my name, Wenhao. Former Wang Lu, now Wenhao, holding a bloodstained xianbing 3-pointed golden and black spear in his hand, his face expressionless. Wiped the tip of the gun on the body, then looked around and didn't find any other living creatures before taking a big step down the mountain. After walking for a while, I found a big stone on the roadside and sat down. I inserted a long gun on one side, took out a long knife and gently wiped it on my knee with my sleeve. Looking down the mountain from here. The dark and oppressive soldiers climbed along the steep mountain road, forming a winding black line that was not far from here. Picking up the long knife, it was a bit dazzling in the morning sunlight. Miso, a stream of blood spilled out, and the long knife made a shallow cut on the neck. Wenhao lifted his armor, tore off a long strip of white cloth from the hem of his underwear, wrapped it around his neck, covered the wound, and also covered his chin. There's no way, the beard is freshly shaved. Although he and Li Wenhao are almost the same in length and stature, there are still some slight differences. Ordinary soldiers cannot tell, but those familiar with Li Wenhao always notice some clues about whether they can get by. To be honest, he has no idea. And according to the information in Wang Hu's memory, the situation of the Fire Crow Army is very complex. The Fire Crow Army is not a regular army, but a mixed army composed of death row inmates, slaves, and refugees. The entire army consists of 3,000 people, who rely on limited military pay for their daily needs and are captured through military campaigns to support themselves. Although Li Wenhao is the seventh son of the Marquis of Qingyang, he is only an illegitimate son. In this world, illegitimate sons have no significant status. The Fire Crow Army also has a deputy commander named Zhang Fugui, who is said to be the younger brother of the Grand Lady of the Marquis' mansion. He controls money, food, military pay, and half of the military force, and doesn't even consider Li Wenhao. So even if he can get by, this Zhang Fugui will still bring him a lot of trouble. I hate trouble. Li Wenhao took out fatty water and took a strong sip. At this moment, he should be quiet and quiet. Woo-woo, a chubby little wolf dog ran out of the grass and eagerly looked at the fat house water in Li Wenhao's hand, wagging its little tail happily. Where did that little dog come from? It's fat like a ball, get lost. Li Wenhao kicked away, feeling extremely disgusted. Woo-woo, the little one fell into the grass and crawled out with a disheveled face. His eyes were filled with shock, and then he revealed his angry baby teeth. You're blind, but you're a divine beast. Believe it or not, you're so angry. Ding, the night wolf lion beast was kicked away by its host, and its loyalty continues to decline. It is expected to disappear in 5 minutes. I'll go, poop. Li Wenhao couldn't resist and sprayed out a mouthful of fat water, staring at the grinning little dog with a shocked expression. System, you call this a divine beast mount, so small. Ding, the system matches based on the host's current strength, no problem. Do you mean that my current strength is only worthy of such a big divine beast? Li Wenhao was surprised. Ding, night wolf lion beast, loyalty is continuously declining and is expected to disappear in 3 minutes. System, let's discuss it. I think it's still possible to give me a divine beast the size of a pony. The system, let's be reasonable. It's really too small. Don't even talk about me, my son is useless. It's probably only the grandchildren can ride it, Li Wenhao argued logically. Ding, the night wolf lion beast is about to disappear. You're so ruthless. Li Wenhao pounced on the little one with a hungry tiger, holding it in his arms. His black face smiled like a chrysanthemum, little cutie, just made a little joke. Be good, Baba hug. However, little Pang Dun ignored him and angrily turned his head, giving him a round butt. Little Fong even bit his hand hard, which was extremely cruel. Don't be angry, look at what I have in my hand. Sweet water, it tastes so good. The little one stopped showing his teeth and looked at the open fat water in front of him, his eyes full of curiosity. First, he sniffed with his nose, then extended his little tongue to lick it, and his little eyes immediately lit up. With a loud cry, he sat like a human child, holding onto the fat water with his little paws and sipping it. Little Pang Dun drank happily, the wolf's tail wagging and making a whimpering sound. Li Wenhao sat down on the ground with lingering fear, patting his chest and saying, "You scared me to death." End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Commander of the Fire Crow Army. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 5. Watching Orders and Killing Generals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Watching Orders and Killing Generals. Li Wenhao had a stern face and scanned all the generals with a cold gaze. Regardless of who he saw in his eyes, he lowered his head. His gaze was fixed on the light bulb, which he had practiced before and was very fierce. Li Shanggui was startled and lowered his head, seeming to lose face. He immediately lifted his head and tugged at his neck, saying, "General, the token represents our identity and is the face of the court. It's for no reason. We apologize for any inconvenience caused. Someone is carrying out a masked assassination attempt, and the token has scratches. Why, when I checked the token, are you feeling guilty?" Li Wenhao glanced over with a cold tone, implying a murderous intent. "I'm not an assassin, how could I feel guilty? I'm just asking." Li Shanggui smiled sarcastically. Li Wenhao said that if he didn't want to take his token, he would have to take it, otherwise it would make him appear guilty and guilty. In fact, whether to take the token or not doesn't have much impact on him. Li Shanggui has just developed a habit of going against Li Wenhao in everything, in order to undermine his military prestige. Let's show the token to the general. These mountain bandits have scared the general and made his face black. Li Shanggui turned around and smiled at his descendants. The general's face turned quite black, this time it was too bold. The general is still young. General Zhang has long said that a general in a military must have the demeanor of a general, and do everything personally. What is the difference between a general and a peddler? Who said it's not right? The young master has already said to guard the camp and not go into the mountains to suppress bandits. Isn't this asking for trouble? A few hundred households on Li Shanggui's side, speaking sarcastically, reluctantly walked forward and put down their tokens, showing no trace of awe. Li Wenhao picked up the token to check, his face darkened throughout the process. Although he did not have any attacks, he had already cursed the deadly Wenhao into a dog in his heart. The commanding officer of a grand army, mocked by a group of lower-ranking officers, truly steps on a horse of the highest quality, and even living is shameful. Little beast, you dare to bite my token. 100 households had just put down their tokens, and little fatty Dwen was curious to bite them. Unexpectedly, this guy was so vicious that he kicked little fatty Dwen with one foot. Beating a dog also depends on the owner, let alone the fact that this kick carries spiritual power and is a killer. Bold. Li Wenhao was already full of anger and became furious upon seeing this. Little fatty Dwen, he has to be his little ancestor and make you kick his loyalty away. Who am I going to compensate for it? Miso, he grabbed the long knife on his knee with one hand, as fast as lightning, drawing a beautiful arc and spraying hot blood. Ah, Baihu screamed in agony, tightly covering his neck and taking a few steps back. He stared at Li Wenhao incredulously, his eyes filled with astonishment. He couldn't believe it, Li Wenhao would kill him for a little dog. Although cultivators can resist more than ordinary people, they don't have much blood to shed. With a loud bang, 100 households fell to the ground and died, unable to close their eyes. Hiss, the scene fell silent. General, you. Li Shanggui's face was sprayed with the blood of 100 households, and he didn't react for a long time. When he reacted, he pointed at Li Wenhao but couldn't speak. Killing 100 households is not a big deal, but this 100 households is under the deputy commander Zhang Fugui, who is the uncle of the eldest son Li Wenhao. This is disrespectful to the eldest son. The illegitimate sons of aristocratic families have no status at all. Even if Li Wenhao is the commander of the army, he will yield to the people sent by the Grand Prince. This is also the rule of aristocratic families, and everyone is like this. Li Wenhao is no exception, and he is usually patient. Even the agreed-upon marriage was favored by the eldest son, and Li Wenhao dared not marry because he was ridiculed by many people. But at this moment, Li Wenhao's knife shocked everyone. General Hu Wei. General Hu Wei. General Hu Wei. Crash, led by Ahu, Zhang Wenhe, and 2,000 households. The soldiers on the right all knelt on one knee. Their faces were pale and different from those of Li Shanggui and others, but they turned red and excited. Li Shanggui, Zhang Fugui and other people rely on being sent by the Grand Prince to oppress them in various ways on a daily basis. They often find a way to withhold military pay, and they can't bear it anymore. Li Wenhao grew up in the Marquis' mansion and received education from a wealthy family. He never dared to say no when faced with the eldest prince, and even his subordinates were willing to compromise. A soldier is cowardly, a nest of generals is cowardly. They are all under Li Wenhao's command. Li Wenhao is like this, so what can they do? They can only swallow their anger, have their teeth knocked out, and swallow it in their stomachs, but at this moment, Li Wenhao seems to be a bit different. Ding, kill a second-level general and obtain 300 qi in blood pills, 30-level breaking pills, and a pack of crispy biscuits. I'll go, it's really blasting the level pill. Li Wenhao originally wanted to say something, but unfortunately was startled by the system prompt. He really exploded the level pills, and there were still 30. As for 300 qi and blood pills, it's normal for an ordinary person to explode 10, and it's reasonable for a second-level pill to explode 30 times. In reality, cultivating a second-level warrior is the most luxurious way to take 1 qi and blood pill a day, which takes about a year and a half, ranging from 400 qi and blood pills to 500. Of course, apart from the descendants of dragons and dragons, there are few who are so wealthy. Most of them are self-cultivated and supplemented with pills, usually lasting for more than 3 years. General, Huang San just wanted to drive away a little dog for you. Why did he kill him? He used to be the young master's personal soldier. Because he could be an assassin. Li Wenhao calmed his ecstatic mood for a moment, calmly taking out a few crispy cookies to surprise little fatty Dun. Xiao Peng Dun is a foodie. When he sees something delicious, he forgets everything and just releases the token in his mouth, stuttering and nibbling on the biscuits. Li Wenhao then picked up the Huang Sanling card that was thrown away by Xia Pengdan and showed it to everyone. There were several clear scratches on it, which were quite deep. Everyone was speechless. It was obvious that the little dog had just bitten it. Ahu and others chuckled foolishly, and they liked to watch Li Wenhao talk nonsense seriously. This kind of Li Wenhao made them feel novel and hopeful. General, why do you invert black and white? This scratch was clearly bitten by this little beast. Li Shangui's face turned black with anger, pointing at little Pengdun and shouting loudly. If you say it bit, then give it a try. If it doesn't bite, make a decisive decision. Do you dare? You, how could you do this? I'm human, not a dog. Li Shangui stuttered and didn't know what to say, completely breaking the rules and playing cards. Biting is not like being laughed at as a dog. How can it prove that Huang San is unjustly accused if he doesn't bite? General is right. Qianhu Ahu raised his eyebrows and exclaimed loudly, since you said it was bitten by a puppy, you can bite it and take a look. If you can't bite such a deep scratch, it proves that Huang San is an assassin. You and Huang San are together and should sit together. Yes, you guys bite, one by one. If you dare not bite, you will feel guilty. Huang San must be an assassin. The little dog is so small and doesn't even have full baby teeth. How could it bite? I see, they just want to assassinate the general, so they can dominate the Fire Crow army. Li Wenhao's transformation gave the generals courage, and they shouted loudly and cheerfully, saying everything they dared not say on weekdays, only feeling that they had never been so happy before. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. A Group of Moving Treasures. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. A Group of Moving Treasures. Li Wenhao threw Huang San's token onto the ground and looked at Li Shangui and others with a gloomy gaze, his heart secretly filled with murderous intent. Zhang Fugui's absence may be an opportunity, as he still has the right to lead the killing of several hundred households, especially Li Shangui, who is a military supply officer, is in charge of money and food, which is a very important position. To fully control the Fire Crow army, the supply officer must be one's own person. I. Li Shangui was so excited by the generals that he couldn't bear it. He had the intention to agree, but he always felt something was wrong. He turned his head to look at a fat man named Baihu behind him and said, "Lu Fei, go bite him." "I'm going." Lu Fei's chubby face was about to cry, so he had to grit his head and walk over. Li Shangui is a trusted confidant of the eldest prince, and the prince is also an elder of the Li family. How could he offend him? Just be a dog. With such thoughts in mind, Lu Fei picked up Huang San's token and took a gentle bite. He felt that even a small dog could bite a mark. As a second-level warrior, it would be easy, but he was mistaken. The token was specially made by Dio, so how could it be so soft? Although Xia Pangdan is small, he is still a divine beast. "General, look." Lu Fei held up his token to show everyone, but the scene suddenly quieted down. The people on Li Shangui's side opened their mouths wide and looked incredulous. On the other hand, the people on the side of Ahu were momentarily stunned and then burst into laughter. Ahu had the loudest voice and the happiest smile. "What are you looking at? There's no trace at all. You're not even as good as a dog." "I can't say that, Lu Fei has done his best. Zhang Wenhao is a sorcerer who speaks more politely." "Lu Fei, what else do you have to say?" Li Wenhao suppressed his smile and was also surprised by the result. Me, bite again." Lu Fei's face was sweating profusely, completely at a loss, as he picked up the token and was about to put it in his mouth. Li Wenhao's eyes turned cold. His goal was to eliminate dissidents, control the Fire Crow army, and at the same time, explode the level-breaking pill. How could such an opportunity be missed? Miso, a blade of light flashed by, blood splattered, and the scene fell silent. Lu Fei fell to the ground, desperately covering his neck with both hands, trying to grab back the sprayed blood. The gaze towards Li Wenhao was filled with fear, and he also did not expect Li Wenhao to kill him. "Killing Huang San is already a huge accident, why do you still kill him? Is one not enough?" He didn't even think it through before he died, but unfortunately no one gave him an answer. Ding, kill a second-level general and obtain 300 chi in blood pills, 30 rank breaking pills, and a pack of instant noodles. Li Wenhao is very satisfied now, he has burst 30 more level breaking pills. Looking at Li Shangui and his companions, they are not human, they are simply treasures for walking. To be honest, he even wants to cut off his own people. "General, Lu Fei just didn't show any bite marks, why did he kill him?" Li Shangui took a while to organize his words and shouted loudly. Unfortunately, he may not have noticed that although his voice was loud, it was trembling. Not biting it out proves that Huang San is an assassin. "You are all comrades and will die. Now the next one." Li Wenhao had a fierce smile on his face. At this moment, he could no longer conceal his purpose and waved to Ahu's side, saying, "Surround yourself, who dares to act recklessly. Slash. Obey me. Obey me." Ahu and others loudly took orders, excited as if they had been beaten with chicken blood, and their long-suppressed emotions finally erupted. Shua shua, he drew out his weapon and formed a formation, surrounding Li Shangui and his entourage. This is a flat piece of land on the downhill road. The area is not too large, it can only accommodate hundreds of people at most. Ahu and his team arrived early, accounting for 80% of the population. More than 300 people surrounded 40.50 people, showing a completely one-sided posture. The soldiers below the mountain slope were far away and couldn't understand the situation. Zhang Wen and the thief arranged for someone to block the way in advance to prevent the people below from coming up. "General, we are all the people of the young master. Aren't you afraid to provoke the young master?" Li Shangui's face was covered in a cold sweat, and he shouted desperately. Even a fool could tell from the situation in front of him that Li Wenhao was going to make a desperate move. While shouting, he also winked at his accomplices behind him, hoping to have someone pass the message to Zhang Fugui. You, come and bite. Li Wenhao doesn't have time to delay. If you don't come, I'll call the roll and just use my finger to hit a unlucky guy. General, please spare your life. From now on, I will be your person. Please spare your life. 100 unlucky households knelt down on the ground with a thud, crying with their noses and tears, feeling extremely sad. It seems that you are unwilling to bite. Li Wenhao pulled out the three-pointed golden black gun inserted on the ground and stood up. General, I'm here. Ahu was eager to try on the side, feeling so happy that he couldn't help but suffer from the bird's anger of these people on weekdays. It's rare that the general is abnormal today, so we can't miss the opportunity for revenge. No need, I'll come myself. Li Wenhao quickly stopped him. He killed something explosive, while others killed it, which was a waste of time. Wasting it is shameful. The Xuanbing's three-pointed golden black spear hummed lightly, like a venomous snake spitting out a message. I'm fighting with you. The unlucky 100 households drew their swords and wanted to resist, but there was a huge difference between the second and fourth orders. Bang, the swords bounced out and their heads flew into the sky. Ding, kill a second-level general and obtain 300 qi in blood pills, 30 rank-breaking pills, and a pack of sanitary pads. Did you make a mistake, sanitary napkins? Li Wenhao's mouth twitched and he was really shocked. Could the unlucky guy who was killed be a big shot in women's clothing? How could this be exposed? General, spare your life. I dare not dare to do it again. From now on, I will all listen to General. General, I was forced. My family is the young master's hired farmer. General, I report that Li Shangui is a spy. He sent someone to report the news to the three-headed eagle, hoping to plot against you. Killing 300 households in a row, especially the last shot, was too fierce, and the remaining 300 households had a broken mentality. They couldn't run away in such a place, couldn't fight, and what could they do without begging for mercy? They have gone through countless hardships to become cultivators, how can they be willing to die? Wang Li, are you crazy? What are you talking nonsense about? Li Shangui's face turned pale as he pointed at the 100 households who had betrayed him and cursed. Li Shangui, you are the legitimate son of a collateral branch of the Li family. The general naturally won't kill you, but we are different. I don't want to die. Bai Hu, named Wang Li, burst into tears. Li Wenhao glanced at Li Shangui and suddenly realized that it was this guy who caused the trouble. Upon careful consideration, it is indeed so. Otherwise, the leader of the bandits in the Hengduan Mountains, the three-headed eagle, would have known Li Wenhao's reconnaissance route. And to attack and kill a sentinel squad of only 10 people, we need to dispatch 3 leaders and over 100 ferocious mountain bandits. This is simply to kill Li Wenhao, and even to have Wang Hu pay for Li Wenhao's life in the end. If it weren't for themselves, their plan would have been successful. On the other hand, their plan was not considered a failure either. Li Wenhao did indeed die, but he did not calculate it, and there would be an extra version of himself. Why did Li Shangui kill Li Wenhao? Who would benefit from his death, Zhang Fugui, or the Grand Prince? They're not good products, go to hell. Li Wenhao couldn't figure it out, and he was too lazy to think about it. He was even more lazy to kill one by one and just open it up. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. 100 Birds Killing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 700 Birds Killing, Kill 100 Birds. The Xuanbing's three-pointed golden and black spears thrust fiercely, causing the spears to tremble violently, transforming into 100 firearm flowers, like a flying firebird spreading its wings, covering more than 10 meters. Li Wenhao, you're crazy. Li Shangui was both shocked and angry. With one hand raised, a talisman turned into ashes, forming a wind wall blocking him. What kind of combat technique is this? Isn't he a quasi-third-level warrior? Damn it, this is a mysterious level combat skill. He has been promoted to 3rd level. Ah, I can't stop it. Others don't have talismans to protect their lives. The place where the Firebird passed was filled with screams of agony, and in an instant, dozens of people except for Li Shanggui died tragically. Ding, kill 2 second-level generals and obtain 600 chi in blood pills, 60 level breaking pills, and a pack of ham intestines. Ding, kill 1 first-order general and obtain 100 chi in blood pills, 10 breaking pills, and 1 bread. Ding, kill 5 soldiers and obtain 50 chi in blood pills, 500 marching pills, and 5 disposable lighters. Bai Niao Sha is so strong. A series of sound prompts sounded, and Li Wenhao was startled by the power of this move. This is the power of the divine level technique combined with the 4th level enlightenment realm, killing dozens of people in one big move. In fact, using the spiritual power of a big move to kill these people would be a loss, but who made Li Wenhao use it for the first time? He was also worried that the power of a big move would not be enough, so he used more spiritual power. The general has made a breakthrough, it's really impressive. The 3rd level Meridian Realm is a small level where many people get stuck. Xianpin Combat Skills, General's Majesty. Only the 3rd level Meridian Realm can use combat skills, and many soldiers on the scene were stunned by this great move, pausing for a moment before cheering. Ahu, Zhang and a few others opened their mouths and couldn't say a word. Their eyes towards Li Wenhao were full of shock. Ordinary soldiers don't know each other. They all have mysterious combat skills, but they haven't been promoted to the 3rd level yet and can't unleash their power. Nevertheless, they recognized that the world was dark and yellow, and this was definitely not a mysterious level combat skill. It could be at the level of the earth or even the sky. Li Wenhao is an illegitimate son, how could it be? Did the general have a chance encounter? For a moment, their eyes flickered and their imaginations danced. Li Wenhao, if you dare to kill me, the eldest young master will not let you go, and you will also die. Among the remaining corpses on the ground, only a thin layer of blue wind wall remained. Li Shanggui spewed blood loudly while desperately injecting spiritual power into the wind shield. He had made up his mind that as long as he could escape, he would immediately go find the eldest son and ask him to avenge him. He also needs to tell the young master that Li Wenhao has changed and is different from before. Don't spare me, he's a fart, poison dragon diamond. Li Wenhao turned his left hand, and the Xuanbing's 3-pointed golden black spear hummed lightly. The tip of the spear quickly rotated like a poisonous dragon, rushing towards the wind wall. If the group attack cannot be broken, use the single kill technique. Pup, the wind wall burst, and Li Shanggui couldn't hide anywhere. Countless blood splattered out of his chest, his meridians were cut, and he sprayed fresh blood and flew out, trembling all over on the ground. Warlocks did not master spells before reaching the 3rd level Meridian Realm, and their combat power was truly useless. Although the wealthy can use spells, they are far inferior to real spells. Li Wenhao extended his long spear and placed it on Li Shanggui's neck, saying coldly, "Don't blame me for not giving you a chance." "Who ordered you?" At this moment, Li Shanggui's face turned to ashes. Not only did he not beg for mercy, but he also laughed with blood spurting out of his mouth. "You destroyed my meridians, cut off my cultivation, and wanted me to tell you. Li Wenhao, you have a great fortune this time, and you will definitely die next time. You can't afford to provoke someone who wants your life, it's impressive. It seems that you really want to die." Li Wenhao's eyes were filled with murderous intent. "General." Li Wenhao was about to take action when Zhang Wenhe suddenly ran over and whispered, "After all, Li Shanggui is a member of the Li clan. It's better to keep him alive and send him to the central army for the eldest son to handle." After Zhang Wenhe finished speaking, his eyes looked helplessly at Li Wenhao. He didn't want to dissuade him, but who could have prevented Li Shanggui from killing him? Killing Li Shanggui not only angers the eldest son, but also the Li family cannot explain. The strict family rules of aristocratic families are not a small matter. Moreover, money, food, and military pay are all being held in the hands of the young master, so Li Wenhao and the Fire Crow army will only have even more difficult days in the future. What about the people of the Li clan? What can the clan rules do to me? I can't afford to start my own family. Li Wenhao curled his lips and exerted force with one hand. With a pop, Li Shangui's neck pierced through. Hiss, Zhang Wenhe, Ahu, took a deep breath and looked at Li Wenhao in surprise. They were not surprised to have killed Li Shangui, but rather a whispered sentence from Li Wenhao just now. So what about the Li clan? What can the clan rules do to me? If it's not big, I can start my own family. Li Wenhao used to not be like this, but now what he says is that not only the young master, but even the noble families dare to resist. You should know, this is something that even Emperor Daio has not achieved. Is it possible that Li Wenhao has been pretending and waiting for the opportunity, and now secretly leaking some information to them? Watching the turbulent times of the Daio dynasty come, even a small country like Langia in the western regions dares to kill the envoys of Daio. Who doesn't want their master to have ambitious goals and accomplish great things? Previously, they were all disappointed, even disheartened. Today, Li Wenhao's change reignited their enthusiasm. Ding, kill one quasi-third level sorcerer and obtain 100 level breaking pills, 1000 qi and blood pills, and 1 mattress for Shimengsi. Li Wenhao looked at the inventory and found that there were over 8,000 qi and blood pills and over 200 level breaking pills. On the contrary, the least valuable marching pill is only over 2,000, much less than the qi and blood pill. After exploding so many times, he also found some patterns. Generally, only 2 types of pills can explode when killing enemies. The marching pill is only popular among ordinary people, and it is not popular among cultivators. The marching pill is actually food and forage. Although it is not as valuable as the pill, it is very important to the army. If there is a shortage of pills, it is best to cultivate slowly. If there is a shortage of food and grass, one will starve to death. Therefore, it is important to accumulate more marching pills in case of emergencies. If the family loses military supplies, it will be very troublesome. After all, for several consecutive years of disasters, food and forage have been controlled by aristocratic families and clans, and ordinary people have no food reserves at all. General, this is the military supplies officer's talisman, which contains some money in grain account books, as well as talisman materials used by sorcerers. Zhang Wenhe squatted down and found a palm-sized animal skin on Li Shangui's body. He took it in his hand and looked at it, respectfully lifting it with both hands. Oh, Li Wenhao reached out to take it and curiously looked at it. The size, style, and charm were the same, but the materials were different. This thing is called a receiving token, which is specifically assigned to commanders of various armies and used by military supply officers to hold money, grain, account books, and other items. It is said to be the military of Daio, made from mysterious animal skins. However, the space is relatively small, with the vast majority only around 1 cubic meter, and spiritual power needs to be replenished regularly. In theory, Li Wenhao, as the commander of the First Army, should also have one, but he did not see one. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Zhang Fugui. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Zhang Fugui input spiritual power, and a space of 1 cubic meter appears in front of you, filled with small booklets of ghost symbols, yellow paper, cinnabar, and so on. Li Wenhao is a person who likes to speak with his fists and is not interested in things like magic. Take out 20 level breaking pills from the system warehouse and throw them to Zhang Wenhe along with the receiving talisman in his hand. From now on, you will be the new supply officer of the Fire Crow army. You will take all these things, as well as these rank-breaking pills. You and Ahu will each have 10, and strive to break through as soon as possible. When it's time to be ruthless, be ruthless. When it's time to win over, win over. The way to hire people is to use both kindness and authority. Li Wenhao understands all these principles. General Xia, the quality of this rank-breaking pill is unparalleled, without any impurities. Thank you very much, General. Zhang Wenhe, Ehu, knelt on one knee again, all excited. Na Wu Fu belongs to the property of the Fire Raven Army, and it's not much. The key is that this rank-breaking pill is too expensive to afford. They can't even afford one with a month's salary. Now I have given 10 of them all at once, which one has the best quality? How can I not be excited? It's nothing, hurry up and break through. Follow me and you won't be at a disadvantage. And these qi and blood pills, send each soldier one. Li Wenhao waved his hand and saw the eager eyes of hundreds of households and soldiers around him. He hesitated for a moment, then took out another bag and handed Zhang Wenhe about 2,000 qi and blood pills. The number of level-breaking pills is limited and valuable, so we cannot send them randomly. We also hope that Ehu and Zhang Wenhe can break through the 3rd level as soon as possible to establish a legion. There are many qi and blood pills available, so you can distribute some appropriately to ensure that all the soldiers who come today are not empty-handed. The system Legion has certain requirements for the loyalty of soldiers, and he doesn't realize that the loyalty of the Fire Crow soldiers is above 50, so it would be better to increase their loyalty. Qi and blood pill, so much. Ehu looked at the bag in his hand, so surprised that he didn't know what to say. 20 high-quality level-breaking pills are worth over 2,000 gold, and the more than 2,000 qi and blood pills are also worth more than 2,000 gold. Together, they are almost 5,000 gold, which is nearly 500,000 taels of silver. The annual salary of the Fire Crow army is just that much. The whole army went down the mountain for repairs, had a meal, and continued to suppress the bandits. Obey the order. Obey the order. The soldiers shouted their orders loudly, with a loud voice, especially Zhang Wenhe and Ehu, who had the loudest voices. On the way down the mountain, Li Wenhao chatted with Ehu and Zhang Wenhe for a while, and gained some understanding of the current situation of the war. Grand Prince Li Wenheng commanded 25,000 main forces and confronted the 20,000-strong army of Langya King at the base of Langya City. In addition, there were 2,000 people guarding the Kunshan granary. The task of the 3,000 Fire Crow army is to guard against the bandit coalition on the flanks of the mountain range and ensure the safety of the army's food supply. The task was not difficult, but Li Wenhao was a bit strange. The Lord of Langya in the western regions killed the envoy of Dayo, and Emperor Youwu was furious. That's why Qingyang Marquis Li Longji sent a 30,000-strong army to conquer. But why, Li Wenheng, along with his main force, remained motionless at the foot of Langya King's city, giving orders to the Fire Crow army to defend the grain route and specifically advising not to suppress bandits. There is no intention of rushing to attack at all, even though there are disaster victims everywhere in the Dayo dynasty and feudal lords from all over support their troops. Shouldn't it be so blatant as not to take the orders of Emperor Youwu seriously? The hundreds of thousands of imperial guards in Dayo are not joking, they are the world's #1 strong army. What hidden information is inside here? At the temporary camp at the foot of the mountain, each soldier received a qi and blood pill, and they were all excited. Even if you don't eat it yourself, you can still sell over 100 silver coins, which is equivalent to 1 year's military pay. The officers and subordinates who were originally killed by Li Wenhao also joined in one after another. Li Wenhao simply personally promoted several tenfu leaders to become 100 households and gave them some pills to enhance the combat power of these newcomers as much as possible. After all, they were all tenfold commanders before, and they only reached the first rank. Their strength was too low, how could they subdue the crowd? In the final statistics, there were over 2,100 soldiers, accounting for 2/3 of the total military strength. Within the temporary large account, Li Wenhao pointed to the simple map he had drawn and said to the generals, our temporary camp is just right at the entrance of the canyon that connects the 7 mountain villages to the north. Ahu, Zhang Wenhao, take 1,500 people to guard here and block the reinforcements from the bandits. I will take 500 elite soldiers to destroy 7 mountain strongholds to the north. General, the order of the Grand Prince is to guard the grain road, and no one is allowed to enter the mountains to suppress bandits without orders. If we kill those people like Li Shangui, the young master will definitely be dissatisfied. If we disobey military orders again, what if we cut off our military supplies? Zhang Wenhao frowned and interjected. He had just been appointed as a military supply officer by Li Wenhao and was very worried about food. How much food is left in the military camp? Li Wenhao straightened up and asked. 1,000 bags of miscellaneous grains. Our Fire Crow army has 3,000 regular soldiers and 1,000 auxiliary soldiers. This amount of grain can last for at most half a month. 1,000 bags, so little. Li Wenhao scratched his head and walked a few steps inside the big tent. The unit of measurement in this world is a bag, which weighs around 300 kilograms. If the refined grain is still good, the conversion of miscellaneous grains is really not enough. No matter what, I'll find a way to deal with military supplies. The bandits in the Hengduan Mountains must be eliminated. Li Wenhao slammed the table heavily and made up his mind. What are bandits? They are moving supply boxes one by one. Not only do they have a large number of people and low combat power, but their forces are also scattered. The strongest stronghold is only a mountain bandit that can be defeated by over 3,000 people, and most of the remaining dozens of strongholds have less than 1,000 people. In addition, he is familiar with the terrain here, and even knows the hidden ways of many copycats. So, this is simply a newbie gift from heaven. With such delicious fat on his lips, how could he not eat it? Li Wenhao is very hungry now. If conditions don't allow him, he would even want to chop off his own people. After I leave, Zhang Wenhao and Ahu will take turns taking the pill and break through the 3rd level as soon as possible. Obey me. Obey me. Seeing that Li Wenhao had already made up his mind, Ahu and others could only accept orders with their fists clasped together. After hastily having lunch, Li Wenhao took 500 elite soldiers, found a piece of animal skin, held the chubby little guy in his arms, and sneaked northward along the canyon. He originally wanted to put little Pang Dun in the military camp, but the little one refused and had to bring him along. What Li Wenhao didn't expect was that the plan didn't change quickly. Outside the mountain not far from the temporary camp, the same team carrying the Fire Crow army flag was rushing towards them. In the middle of the team, there were 2 young Qi trainers riding donkeys, wearing high-crowned Taoist robes and covered in dust, yet they didn't even touch their bodies. At the forefront of the team, Zhang Fugui, the deputy commander of the Fire Crow army, was dressed in black armor and had a gloomy face that could drip into the water. He turned around and glanced at the 2 Qi practitioners in the team, then lowered his voice and asked the decadent commander beside him, "Are you sure it was Li Wenhao who personally killed Li Shangui and other generals?" Yes, it's Li Wenhao. The villain hid in the bushes and saw it with his own eyes. Li Wenhao killed dozens of people with just one battle skill. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Hanwa. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Hanwa, what a brave person, just promoted to the 3rd rank and thought he could turn things around. Zhang Fugui was furious and said to the children beside him, "If you have money, bring this person's ID to the central army camp and tell the young master. Just say what I said, sooner or later Li Wenhao will ruin the young master's affairs and cannot stay. I will handle it for him." "Okay Dad, I'll handle things, don't worry." Zhang Yukai patted his chest, turned his horse's head, and ran towards the west. When his youngest son disappeared from sight, Zhang Fugui waved his whip and loudly said, "Blessed, pass on my military order, and the whole army will accelerate. Obey orders." Zhang Youfu, the eldest son of Zhang Fugui, was dressed in 1,000 household armor and bowed to take orders. Jigong Mountain is named after its head resembling a chicken head. Who would have thought that the first fortress to be attacked was actually their own territory? Li Wenhao, dressed in leather armor, stood on a small path in the back mountain with a somewhat complicated expression. Wearing iron armor within the mountains is not enough. It is not only heavy, but also loud, making it unsuitable for surprise attacks. So, including 500 soldiers, they all took off their iron armor and changed to leather armor. For over 100 without leather armor, they could only wear coarse cloth underwear. Fortunately, it's not too cold in the mountains this season. Li Wenhao handed the sleeping little chubby mound to Li Rong and climbed the mountain alone. 500 soldiers were repairing a small valley at the foot of the mountain. There were only over 50 newly recruited mountain bandits left on Jigong Mountain, and he was enough alone. After establishing the Legion, can all members of the Legion be able to explode pills when killing enemies? Otherwise, I will be the only one to kill, and I won't be exhausted. Ding, after establishing the Legion, all Legion members can not only enjoy various combat power bonuses in the system, but also kill enemies and explode resources. The explosion rate is the same as the host, and all leaked resources will automatically enter the system warehouse. I can rest assured that the system is not important information, it is temporarily blocked. Ding, as you wish. Li Wenhao took a deep breath and leaped along a hidden path towards the mountaintop. Climb a distance to change position. Some places use vines to climb, some places need to drill through a vine plant, and even some places need to walk from trees. Many mountain villages have such secret passages, and Jigongshan is considered rudimentary. Large villages even have manually excavated secret passages. Li Wenhao was familiar with the road and quickly reached the top of the mountain. This was a rudimentary mountain fortress, with mostly wooden bungalows inside, except for the stone exterior walls. 3 turns and 2 turns, climbed up a very hidden watchtower. Li Wenhao stepped lightly and placed his spear outside the door. He held a dagger in his hand and touched it inside. Pup, pup, 2 bandits covered their blood-spurting necks and lay on the ground with twisted faces. With his current strength, killing 2 ordinary mountain bandits is not much different from killing 2 chickens. Kill 2 mountain bandits and obtain 20 chi and blood pills and 200 marching pills. Glancing at the system panel, there are information records on it, making it convenient to query. Goo goo, at the top of the watchtower, there was a row of wooden bird cages, several pheasant-sized birds that looked a bit like pigeons, pacing back and forth on top. Li Wenhao glanced and turned to leave. This type of bird is called an eagle pigeon. Since the establishment of the 72 Fortress Alliance in the Hanwa Mountains, every fortress has been a hidden watchtower. Once encountering an enemy, one can send a distress message to the main stronghold, which only the stronghold leader and a few people know. He knew that the eagle pigeon house in Jigongshan was difficult to find in other mountain villages. Puff, another mountain bandit was killed. Li Wenhao wandered around, killing all the secret guards before finally arriving at the residential area. I don't know, can Hanwa still recognize me? Li Wenhao looked at a large wooden house, with a rare smile on his constantly tense face. Hanwa is a fool, only able to say simple words such as eat, drink, brother, etc. There is no threat to Li Wenhao, and he is also the only mountain bandit he does not want to kill. Hanwa is Wang Hu's life-saving benefactor, and the two rely on each other as companions, even closer than family. Since it has occupied Wang Beard's body, we must always give him some compensation, whether it is for self-psychological comfort or to keep a soft place in our hearts. Li Wenhao decided to treat Hanwa kindly. Since obtaining the strongest legion system in the world, he has been feeling a bit uneasy, worried about becoming a monster that only knows how to kill. One day, they will target civilians for explosive purposes. He is human, although a bit fierce, he doesn't want to become a monster. There are bloodstains on the ground. Li Wenhao stood in Hanwa's room, looking at the blood on the ground that had not yet solidified, and suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Pushing open the door, I ran towards the main hall of the knockoff. He was very fast, killing several mountain bandits he encountered along the way, but he arrived at the hall in just 1 or 2 minutes. Before he could get close, he could hear the noisy sounds inside. What if Wenhao comes back? Let's run away quickly. What are you panicking about? I heard from the leader of the main village that Wenhao's trip was a near death, and most likely he won't be able to survive. Beard and this fool eat a lot of meat and fish every day, giving us coarse grains. I've been wanting to beat them for a long time, beat him. This fool is with Wenhao every day. He must know where Wenhao hides his money and keep fighting. Woo 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 woo, it hurts, it hurts. In the hall, more than 20 mountain bandits were rummaging around, and on a pillar in the middle, they were using iron chains to help a little giant who was nearly 2.5 meters tall. The little giant clearly had intellectual problems, with blood dripping down his body, yet he still foolishly cried out in pain. His eyes were pure and innocent, without any resentment or hatred. On the ground, there were 2 corpses lying. These were the 2 bandits responsible for taking care of Hanwa. They were originally 2 ordinary hired farmers at the foot of the mountain, honest, and had never done anything wrong even when they went up the mountain. Wenhao stood outside the door, and the scene he saw through the crack of the door made his accumulated negative emotions grow stronger. He used to feel a bit guilty about killing his subordinates, but now he's gone, not at all. In this world, people no longer seem like humans. Even a fool can be so cruel, knowing that even if they see the place where the gold is hidden, they cannot know what it is. Just because fools usually eat well and have resentment in their hearts. Bullying fools can satisfy their fragile sense of achievement. Bang! Wenhao kicked open the door and entered the hall with a chill all over his body. Woo woo, brother, it hurts. The sound of kicking the door alarmed the people in the hall, and the first one to recognize him was actually Hanwa. Hanwa twisted her body desperately, and the iron chains on her body clattered. The joyful light in her eyes stabbed Wenhao's eyes. With such a big change in herself, Hanwa really recognized him, and she recognized him at a glance. If you want gold, ask me, why bother him? Wenhao held a long spear in his hand and walked step by step, pushing his killing intent to the climax. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Second Order Special Forces Gold Armored Warriors. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Second Order Special Forces Gold Armored Warriors, do you bing? No, he seems to be Beard. It's really Beard, he's just one person, kill him. The mountain bandit rushed over, plop, blood splattered, either shot in the throat or in the heart. One shot at a time, steady, accurate, ruthless, without wasting any strength. Blood splattered and corpses scattered everywhere, instantly turning the hall into a Yen Luo field. Wenhao mobilized his spiritual power within his body, achieving an unexpected natural harmony. Suddenly, he had a deeper understanding of the Overlord's heavenly lifting technique in his mind. Like most martial arts techniques, the Overlord heavenly lifting technique is also divided into 2 parts. Operational techniques and skill moves. The system only helps him master the operation of martial arts and some basic combat skills, and truly advanced combat skills rely on his own cultivation and understanding. That's also why in the cultivation world, those powerful cultivators have their own unique combat skills. He's not Beard. Beard only has 1 level, he's not that powerful. Run quickly. Boss, I was wrong, please spare me. It's the second in command of the village, the Xiangwei Fox, who gave you 1,000 gold coins from the 3-headed eagle he mentioned. A group of newly arrived mountain bandits, not even ordinary mountain bandits, how can they be able to resist? Escape is impossible, as they were shot to death at a distance of 7 or 8 meters and knelt down one by one, begging for mercy. However, Wenhao's heart was as cold as iron, and he was even immersed in the pleasure of killing, not letting anyone go. Ding, The system has notified that if a total of 100 units of enemies are killed, the commander's value will increase by 1, and the number of soldiers in the advancing regiment will increase by 100. Unconsciously, 100 people have already been killed. Wenhao finished killing the mountain bandits, and with a swipe of his spear, he cut off the iron chain that bound Hanwa. Brother, it hurts. Hanwa sat on the ground, her plump face full of grievances. Hanwa doesn't hurt, there's something delicious. Wenhao took out a bottle of canned yellow peaches and opened it, handed it to Hanwa, and then took out a qi and blood pill and threw it into Hanwa's mouth. Okay, eat. Hanwa was eating a can and was able to say 2 words, even though it was intermittent. Ding, you have discovered a second-level general with 15 extraordinary military qualifications. Ding, it's discovered that the second-level special unit, the Golden Armor Warrior, has a certain chance of releasing the Golden Armor Soldier talisman when killing enemies. Ding, a second-level general at an extraordinary level, equivalent to a regular third-level general. If the Legion is successfully established, the Legion page will automatically open. Commander-in-Chief. Wenhao. Commander-in-Chief value. 2 Commanding Legion. Fire Crow Army Legion soldiers. Number of 200, loyalty above 50, automatically select the highest combat power to join, the number of soldiers is limited by the commander's value. Reserve. 1200 people, loyalty above 50, Legion leader. Hanwa, second level extraordinary general, special branch. Golden Armor Warrior, second level special branch, quantity 1, commander bonus. Loyalty, those who join the army will never betray. Legion bonus. Level 0 Legion, cultivation speed, breakthrough chance, attack power, stamina, agility, defense, all attribute bonus of 10%. The first level Legion has a 20% bonus, requiring 1/4 level Enlightenment Realm Commander and 1000 first level soldiers. Legion skill. None. Eliminate the enemy's complete army and have a chance to explode. Legion treasure. None. Conquering enemy cities has a chance to explode. I'll go. Wenhao opened his mouth wide and was stunned by a series of prompts from the system, making him unable to speak. Is kindness rewarded, or did you hit your own luck? I won't say much about the number of silly children, such as extraordinary generals, second-level special units, and what golden armor soldier symbols can be used to explode. Anyway, Wenhao's face was bewildered and he couldn't understand. It was just a message on the Legion page, joiners will never betray. This one is enough, the strongest Legion system in the world truly deserves it. For Legion leaders, what is most important and loyalty is most important. With this, Wenhao can confidently cultivate his opponents with confidence. Otherwise, if you cultivate it and rebel, you won't even be able to spit out 3 liters of blood and be extremely angry. There are also level bonuses, cultivation speed, breakthrough chance, attack power, defense power, agility, and all attribute bonuses for this Legion. Legion skills, treasures, and so on, it can be foreseen that as long as they are well cultivated, they can definitely create an invincible army. Brother, eat. Hanwa finished the canned food, licked the bottle, and still wanted it. Alright, take it and eat, let me be quiet. Wenhao waved his hand and took out a pile of snacks, then found a pack of cigarettes, a lighter, found a clean place, and started smoking. System, tell me what extraordinary means. Ding, being extraordinary is breaking through the existing constraints of life, entering a higher level of life, possessing better cultivation qualifications, lifespan, physical strength, and overall attribute enhancement. Oh. Wenhao blinked his eyes, still not quite clear, but he felt very strong. What is the use of the Golden Armor Soldier token in the system, and what does it mean for a second-level special unit? Ding, the Golden Armor Warrior talisman can summon Golden Armor Warriors, and one talisman can summon a team of 10 people. If the summoning fails, there will be no loss. Special branch refers to a powerful branch with special abilities in a certain aspect, and second order refers to the lowest level second order of that branch. Isn't it true that summoning a golden armor warrior is a second level skill? What special abilities does a golden armor warrior have? Ding, for detailed information, please feel free to explore on your own. I think it's power, can't we call it a strength? Li Wenhao flattened his mouth, extinguished his cigarette, walked towards his throne, kicked it away, and a pitch-black entrance appeared below. Shanzhai Sanbao, escape route, secret guard, treasure room. Li Wenhao has organized some useful weapons and leather armor in the system below, and there is nothing else. Mainly for Wang Beard and Hanwa's daily cultivation, they sold out everything they could sell, and the most valuable ones were the 1,000 gold coins and over 100 bags of grain given by the Three Eyes sculpture. Gold coins are the gold coins of the kingdom of Langya, weighing 1 or 2 and heavy in the hand. On one side is the portrait of the king of Langya, and on the other is the guardian animal of Langya, the elephant. Is this the most famous elephant soldier of Langya kingdom? Li Wenhao curiously picked up a piece of gold coin and looked at it. The elephant on it was dressed in iron armor, with sharp blades on its ivory, completely like a monster armed to the teeth. It's strange, Li Wenhang's main force has already arrived at the city of Langya King. Why hasn't the elephant soldiers of Langya Kingdom appeared? Li Wenhao thought for a moment, but couldn't come up with a reason, so he stopped thinking and left the secret room. Hanwa, come down the mountain with your brother, have a good life, and I will buy you a strong wife in the future. Brother, wait, Hanwa was holding a pile of snacks and running behind in a panic. With each step, the ground shook. Li Wenhao estimated that this kid weighed at least 300 pounds. No wonder he has a high aptitude for martial arts. With this physique, he can easily hit 10 at a time. What Li Wenhao didn't notice was that among the pile of snacks held by Hanwa, there were also more than 10 qi and blood pills that Hanwa had swallowed as snacks. A normal person can digest at most 1 qi and blood pill per day, but Hanwa actually ate more than 10. And there is no discomfort yet, even the skin injuries on the body have basically healed. It seems that the golden armor warrior is not just powerful. End of this chapter.